In this fourth lesson, we're going to be talking about setting intention for our time together. And we need to be intentional about what we want to do. And when we do something, when we commit to something, we follow through with it. But there are always exceptions that happen. And reinforcing the communication from our last video, when you are unable to, it shows a lot about your character as a person when you communicate that you are unable to continue with following through what you committed, you said you were going to do. So our expectations from the learners is that those who sign up for this course follow through and go all the way to the end of the course. It is important that we do so that we can grow together as a community. We see that a lot of times people are intentional about doing evangelical outreach, which is extremely important. But sometimes our intention can also be fundamentally in the wrong attitude. And so I hope that if you are intentional about this, that you also find the right attitude or the correct heart toward this intentionality. For example, when you read in Acts chapter 8, you read about Simon the sorcerer, and you see that he sees there is a greater power, and he offers money to the apostles so that he could gain access to this power. And he was rebuked by the apostles for having the wrong attitude. He had an intention, and he was intentional, but he had the wrong heart for that which he wanted to do. And so in our intentions, we ask that you respect one another. As you listen to people, you let people finish what they start. And in my own personal walk, in my own conversations with people, I have discovered that I am a slow person to get off the ground what I want to say, and I feel like a plane where once I take off, I need to be given a space from point A to point B to finish what I want to say, to get across what I would like to say. And when people cut me off or step in and start talking in front of me, it breaks my train of thoughts, and I am unable to adequately express what I would like to say. And so taking that into consideration, we want to acknowledge that there are people that have a harder time talking or opening up to talk, and that we give them the freedom and we have the intention of allowing people to say what's on their heart. And so those moments of the talking circles where we will have open discussions, where people just share what's on their heart, what they've been through, what they're going through, and not be judgmental about what people are saying. This is an ethical practice or an important element in working with Indigenous people. And so my hope is that we have Indigenous people in this course that will be active participants, and that they will be given the space and the time necessary to be able to share and open up their hearts. And once again, if you plan on not being able to finish for whatever reason, please reach out and just let us know. We will totally understand if this is not going to work out for you. And also, if something happens and it provokes something and it's just hard for you to process, we will have the time to process and listen to one another so that we can be able to journey this walk together. And so I know we're going to have all different kinds of people from various backgrounds, various churches, various denominations, and upbringings, cultures. So for us to be able to establish, we need to be intentional in our growth together so that we can be able to give the space and time once again, as I'm wanting to repeat exactly what I'm trying to say, so that people can know that they have the freedom to open and share. It's a very vulnerable place to be, and when we set a time and you're able to make it, that you make your commitment. Being punctual is important for us to be able to start on time and to finish. People's attention span on the internet is very short. So we try to keep the conversations in a 1 hour bracket. And my heart and intention isn't to be a place for me to teach or to bring teachers, but to have moments where people can share what's on their heart. If it's related to the course, they can. If it's not, they will be given a moment where everybody can share, have a moment to share. And especially in our first meeting together, we all will have a moment to introduce ourselves, our name, so that we can get to know each other and put a voice to a face, or put a face to the person that is speaking. So being intentional is very important, just as God is intentional with his relationship with us, and setting those expectations, setting that bar for being intentional is important for your personal growth, for my personal growth, for us to be able to be accountable and to respect one another and to grow with one another in this relationship. So Indigenous people take a long time to open up, and pointing out people to speak can cause an awkward sensation. So we respect the different personalities and people's ways of expressing or trying to get across what they want. And we want it to be a safe environment for people to be able to do that. Another request is that we do not share with others outside without written or verbal permission. So it's kind of like a group support, but it's not. But at the same time, it's an environment for us to develop and grow together as a community, as we explore ways to be able to do effective ministry. So these concepts and what you're going to be learning is going to be taken into practical application when you lead teams in the future of volunteers into the Indigenous communities or transcultural setting, because people need to be heard, people need to belong, and people need to be understood. And if I don't take the time to do that, and if you don't take the time to do that, and if we're not intentional about that, we're going to fall short of having an effective transcultural ministry.